Back. It's hour number 2 of the Tuesday edition of the Steve Malzberg Show. And hearings were held today up on Capitol Hill, and there were some big shots on the hot seat with regard to the Obamacare fiasco. Joining us now is a member of the House Ways and Means Committee, and they were the ones conducting the hearing, Congressman Todd, Republican from Indiana. Hello, Congressman. Thanks for being with us.
Hey, it's great to be with you, Steve. Well, thanks for the opportunity.
It's my pleasure. Okay, so you heard from a bunch of people, including the head of the agency responsible for the Healthcaregov fiasco, or one of the people responsible, Marilyn Tavenner, head of the Centers for Medicine and Medicaid Services. She testified and basically apologized for the failures in the main Obamacare website, correct?
Well, she did indeed. She's certainly in a difficult position. She's a project manager of sorts. The administration has taken to calling her the quarterback of this effort. But frankly, I think there are larger structural problems with this law, and that's manifesting itself not just in the Healthcare.gov fiasco, but also in an increase in premiums. People are losing their health care coverage. A lot of anxiety and uncertainty reigns, and so we got some serious issues here that is directly impacting my constituents. And I've heard all kinds of stories that I'd love to share a few of them with your listeners.
Yeah, sure. No, go ahead. I mean, obviously, I just want to talk about the hearing, and then we'll definitely have time for that. She not only apologized, but she was not forthcoming when asked by, I believe, Congressman Nunez and others, how many people have signed up for Obamacare. She just basically refused to answer that question.
Yeah, she would not answer it. She just repeated, as one might do, I guess, in a courtroom setting, time and again, the same sort of talking point that obviously she has studied and was obvious to me that she had been coached to parrot. And she kept repeating to us that we would have the number of people that actually had successfully enrolled in this program by mid-November. We get those numbers. But I can tell you this. Getting 7 million people enrolled by the end of March, which is what the Health and Human Services goals are, and 2.3 million young and healthy individuals, which is required to make the numbers work for the so-called Affordable Care Act. I'm just seeing that being a very heavy lift at this point.
Absolutely, and the chairman of your committee, I think Dave Camp, told her that according to his math, the administration appears to be headed to gaining less than 1/4 of the total that they had been shooting for.
Well, that's right, and a lot of the mainstream media has they've even been on this story reporting that so many of the early celebrated states, Kentucky, for example, and the advertisement of the number of enrollees they've had, the number of visitors to their website that they've had, and that's on the state-based exchange. These are people signing up for Medicaid. These are not young and healthy individuals who are going to help pay the bills for our less healthy and our senior population.
I want to get a couple of your stories, but I got one more for you. Not only are millions losing their health insurance after the president not only guaranteed that, period, nobody would lose their policy if they liked it, period. But he also said back in 2010 that if you had a policy that doesn't live up to what the future will require, we'll grandfather it in. I just played that bite a little while ago for Ann Coulter. We'll grandfather it in, he said. So these are lies, and now comes a report from NBC News that 4 sources deeply involved with the Affordable Care Act told NBC that 50 to 75% of the 14 million who buy their insurance individually can expect to receive a cancellation, and that the Obama administration and Obama knew this.
Yeah. So that's out there. That's being reported. The numbers I've heard, we've got 1.5 million Americans who've received a letter from an insurance company indicating that they're being canceled. And so, I mean, that's what happened to Mike out of Bloomington, Indiana. He received such a letter and showed it to our office. He was also, he discovered subsequently that he's going to see a premium increase from $500 up to $1,400. That's 280% in premium increase. Pretty inconsistent with the president's promise that we're going to see roughly a $2,500 per year savings in premium per American.
Well, Congressman, I'm talking to Congressman Todd Young, Republican from Indiana, a member of House Ways and Means, held hearings today. Tomorrow, Kathleen Sebelius will testify before a different committee. People calling for her resignation, of course. But I mean, is it safe to say? Would you say that the president lied all along?
You know, I try not to employ the three-letter L word, but you know, let's just say there's an inconsistency in the facts that needs to be explained, and there's certainly an inconsistency between previous promises and what's been delivered with this health care law.
All right, then going forward, Congressman, what do you propose, or what school of thought are you in with regard to how to go forward? We have many Democrats in the Senate now, most of whom are up for re-election, red states saying, okay, let's pass legislation to delay this for a year or whatever. There are others who say, wait a minute, that would give the Democrats an out. That means there'd be no accountability for the 2014 elections. Chris Ruddy, my boss, CEO Newsmax.com, CEO Newsmax Media, he wrote a column which has stirred all this. Larry Kudlow followed. George Will and Ann Coulter today both told me they agree with the strategy of letting the chips fall where they may. Republicans should not vote to delay this. Just the president wanted it to take effect. Said he argued for it during the shutdown. Said it can't be delayed. So why come to his rescue now is what they're saying. What do you say?
Well, look, I mean, this thing's going to be a train wreck on its own. I don't think it needs much help from Republicans, and that, of course, is the language of Max Baucus, a prominent Democrat.
Right. So do we delay it or not, or just let it come?
I think we can continue to make the argument that this is a fundamentally flawed law. We're going to see the premiums go up. We're going to see people continue to lose coverage. I don't think it's inconsistent to make those arguments and for more fundamental health care reform while arguing that the one-year delay for the individual mandate that we passed out of the House back in July is still something that the Senate should take up. So that's my position.
Okay.
I also think that we need to restore the 40-hour work week. I mean, that's something that I guess traditionally has been associated with the Democrat Party, and suddenly, with respect to Obamacare, they want employers that employ people 30 hours a week or more to provide them with government-sanctioned health insurance. Let's move that up to 40 hours so that we can keep businesses competitive and prevent workers from losing hours that they desperately need to put food on the table and pay their bills.
All right, Congressman, thank you for joining us. I hope you'll come back, sir.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Their bills.
All right, Congressman, thank you for joining us. I hope you'll come back, sir.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. My pleasure. That's Congressman Todd Young, Republican, Indiana, and he is, of course, a member of the House Ways and Means Committee. Very interesting testimony today. Once again, tomorrow is Kathleen Sebelius before a different House committee, but that should be something. Now, how much she'll say and how much material she'll give to Saturday Night Live to spoof her for this coming Saturday, I don't know. But it's going to be interesting to say the least. All right, still ahead on this great show of ours, if I say so myself. John Fund will be here. Mike Baker, former CIA covert operative, will be here to talk about the NSA and the world reaction to the fact that we spy on foreign leaders. We'll also speak to Rich Fowler, Democratic strategist, and a man who, well, the group is called Military Religious Freedom Foundation, but the group is looking to get So Help Me God taken out of the Air Force pledge. We talked about this amongst ourselves the other day, so we'll debate it with Chris Rhoda, the Senior Research Director for that group. Stay with us and join us if you want to weigh in. 877-NEWSMAX, 877-639-7629. This is the Tuesday edition, which means tomorrow's Wednesday. How could that be? On the Steve Malzberg Show, Newsmax TV and radio.